In this video we're going to look at Magic Loop. Magic Loop is fantastic. In the past, before somebody found the Magic Loop method, if you wanted to knit something small in the round, you would maybe need to use small double pointed needles, or DPNs as you see the abbreviation. This method you could use a long loop, a long cable stitch, sorry not a cable stitch, a long cable needle, and it will work for anything. So I'm just going to make a small tube here with this cast on that I've started. So I need to remember this is actually the inside of my work. This is actually the side where I'm working. So this is my right side. I'm going to push. If the yarn is on one needle, I want the stitches of the opposite needle to be the ones that I'm actually working with. Okay, so these are the stitches I'm going to be knitting, and I'm going to pull the needle with the yarn. I'm going to pull that through, leaving my fingers in the end to make sure that they stay close. You'll see I always knit with the yarn in my left hand. I just find it so much easier. It works just as well if you knit with the yarn in the right hand. I'll show you in a minute. And we're just going to knit. Now with our first stitch, we need to pull it tight enough to close up any gap that there might be between the front and the back needle. So we're going to knit, I've got 6 stitches on each needle. I've got 12 stitches that I'm working with. So we're going to knit those stitches. When we get to the end of the row, we're going to just turn it round. We're going to do the same again, keeping fingers in the end. We're going to pull the back needle so that we can ease the stitches onto the front needle. Well, what was the back needle now becomes the front. And I can show you, I can knit this just as well with the yarn in my right hand. I'm just not as good a knitter with the yarn in my right hand, even though that's how I was taught to knit as a child. So again, we just need to, you see that then just seem to pull the cable close. So I'm going to pull the cable close, and I never learnt to do it just by moving my finger. It's just too much like hard work. My hand always comes off as well, which is why I find the continental method so much easier. I'm not having to let go of the needle, it's not swinging everywhere. So there we have it, and again, turn the work round, go back to this way, sorry. Okay, this will show you where the front of your row is. You can of course put a stitch marker in, it's not a problem at all. Fingers in, pull this through. Now, be careful. If your yarn is here and you start knitting, what you're actually creating is a yarn over, and you'll find that you've got an extra stitch there that you didn't want. So always make sure when you're starting the work that your your yarn is coming out of the back of your work. It's behind you. Even if you're purling, you're going to have to bring it to the front, but generally you'll find that you're just knitting when you're working in the round. And so we just keep going. So we knit the other 6 stitches again, get to the end of the row, turn the work round, pull the back one, keeping my fingers in, and ease the work through and over the needle. Sometimes it'll be a bit tight, it's because this gap is big. If I push the needle and the cable together, you'll find that the stitches slip up more easily. And then we can continue, and I'll just go to the end of this. You see, I just have to tug it to bring this cable close to the needle. And if I was knitting a pair of socks, I'm just beginning to form my toe section there. Nice little pocket that I made. So there we have it. We're knitting in the round with the Magic Loop system. This is the inside. We're beginning to form a nice little pocket. So I hope that's helped you with the Magic Loop.